This week, a mistrial was declared in the case against a former Phoenix police officer and his wife, who were charged in the death of their daughter. 7-year-old Sana Cunningham died in 2017. Jermaine and Lisa Cunningham were charged with murder and child abuse. But the case was put into jeopardy because of questions over how Goodyear police handled the evidence. So let's take a legal deep dive into this case. Criminal defense attorney Josh Colesrud joins us now. What was the issue with Goodyear police?
Well, boy, it's a huge issue. I mean, it's not every day that a Superior Court judge dismisses a murder case. And to do so, there has to be something that is significantly wrong with the case. So generally speaking, like, what is a mistrial?
Right.
A mistrial is basically pressing the reset button because something is so inherently unfair that the case cannot proceed. And in this particular situation, it was discovered that the Goodyear Police Department was using a software system that just didn't work correctly. And it allowed people, officers or whomever, to be able to input items into evidence without putting their initials on it. And there are certainly holes in the chain of custody. And it really blows apart the credibility of a lot of the items of evidence in just this case. Now, that's not even talking about every other case that the Goodyear Police Department has used this software for since about 2017. And they haven't done an audit, according to what I've read, since 2017. So that means that they're going to have to go back and look at every single criminal case that involves this software to see whether or not there are any chain of custody issues.
So there could potentially be even more trials/mistrials out of this, right?
Not only trials and mistrials, but people sent to prison are now going to have appealable issues, saying that they were never disclosed this material evidence, this mitigating evidence. You know, sometimes a defendant will take a plea agreement because they think that the evidence is so overwhelming, even though they think they're innocent. They're like, you know what, it's just not worth the risk of going to trial. But if the evidence isn't what it purports to be because of these chain of custody issues, it's going to create an entire nightmare for the appellate courts.
So there's no word on a retrial. Do you think there will be one?
Definitely. In a murder case, the only way that this case wouldn't go back to trial would be if it was dismissed with prejudice. And generally speaking, the only way that that's going to happen is if the judge found that there was prosecutorial misconduct, or in other words, that the prosecution knew about the chain of custody issues and failed to disclose it. But that's not the case. Here, the prosecutors disclosed it within minutes of finding out. But the thing is, why didn't the Goodyear Police Department inform Maricopa County that this was an issue until the middle of trial?
Right. Yeah, too late by then.